Ever since I could remember, I've always been a big fan of dinosaurs. And as a Gen Zer myself, I grew up alongside the golden and modern era of gaming. And at about 7 or 8 years old, I took a big interest into video games, specifically games published by Telltale, which was big during the early and late 2010s for games like The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead. I was also a very big fan of a YouTuber by the name of The Gaming Beaver as a kid, who makes dinosaur and gaming related content. And if you haven't already, you should check him out. He's one of the OGs in dinosaur media and gaming in general. Now you may be wondering why I'm mentioning all this. See, I watched Beaver play Jurassic Park, the game, from Telltale as a kid, and it was an experience to say the least. I was thinking of some ideas for a video, then remembered this game existed. No, I've never personally played this game, and I'm going to try not to be biased about the objective failures in the game, but I think it's pretty easy to grasp the concept of, well, Jurassic Park plus early Telltale development. Today we'll be seeing if this game is truly as bad as a lot of people think, and what Telltale could have done to improve the experience. Before we dive into what works, let's address the elephant in the room. Why is this game seen as a disappointment by many fans? The biggest criticism revolves around its true lack of gameplay. Telltale is known for making choice-driven games, but Jurassic Park the game often feels more like a quick-time event simulator than a true interactive experience. The action sequences, especially the ones involving dinosaurs, boil down to a series of button prompts, and the lack of freedom to explore or shape a story in any meaningful ways has left many underwhelmed. Now add in some technical issues like graphical glitches and audio hookups, and it's kind of clear why some people felt the game didn't live up to the Jurassic Park legacy.
Dinosaurs shaking that tree. Forget it. Just some birds.
Micah! Hey! There's a dinosaur shaking that tree!
Forget it. Just some birds.
No, honestly, I don't even know what to say about this. This is just blatantly no effort put into this part of the game. And I can see why a lot of people would dislike Jurassic Park, the game. Because it's not the highest effort, game of all time. But it's something, you can look back and say that at least the game had some, let's call it integrity. But let me get back to the script. Now let's talk about what makes Jurassic Park the game stand out in a positive light. The dinosaurs, of course. One of the most interesting aspects of this game is it handles the creatures that have become iconic symbols of the Jurassic Park franchise. But how accurate are these depictions? Take the Dilophosaurus, for example. In the game, the Dilophosaurus is depicted as a highly aggressive venom-spitting predator, much like the Jurassic Park movie. However, the game ramps up this threat by making it faster and more relentless than the film's version. This heightens the fear factor, turning what was once a mildly threatening creature into a constant danger for the player. The chase scene is by far one of the most intense moments of the game, and the way Telltale uses sound and pacing to build tension around the Dilophosaurus is fantastic. Then there's the T-Rex, which feels just as menacing as it was in the film. In my opinion, even more so, because its teeth look sharper than usual, though I don't know if that's a rendering issue or not. The game sticks to the same concept of a massive, terrifying predator, but it adds its own spin by incorporating suspenseful sequences where you're constantly avoiding it in tight spaces. The T-Rex here doesn't just feel like a background threat, it's an active looming presence. I'm not necessarily going to be going into the Troodon or Raptors, etc., because they serve the same purpose as the Dilos and Rex. What I mean by that is, they kind of just chase you and scare you, and, you have to escape them. But overall, the game does a solid job of representing the dinosaurs. But it also takes some creative liberties to make them feel more intimidating and threatening than they would have in real life. It's not about accuracy to the fossil record, but more about making sure that these creatures remain terrifying in a game format. While the dinosaurs are a standout feature, the game is not without its flaws. Excuse me. One area where it could have improved is character development. I'm sorry if that disgusted you, I'll take it out if people complain about it. The characters like Dr. Sorkin and Nima, or Nina, I'm not really sure, are fine, but don't get the attention they quite deserve. The emotional depth that you expect from a Telltale game is missing here. Instead, the characters often feel like tools for progressing the story rather than fully realized people with their own arcs. This could have been improved upon by giving players more agency in shaping characters' decisions and reactions to the events unfolding around them. Another area for improvement is the pacing. The constant tension of the dinosaurs is great, But realistically, what good game or movie that antagonized dinosaurs shows the T-Rex within the first 50 minutes of gameplay? Keep in mind, this game is about 8.5 hours long, so the introduction was definitely good with the Triceratops and all, but it should have been executed in later episodes because, that kills all the joy. The story often drags on, and the lack of meaningful choices means that the story isn't as engaging as it could be. Players want to feel like their decisions matter in a Telltale game, but here, most choices either feel inconsequential or not well fleshed out. Despite its shortcomings, Jurassic Park the game remains a unique experience, one that provides a thrilling dinosaur-filled narrative that is in some ways more terrifying than the films. The dinosaurs are well designed, okay, maybe that's a bit of a lie, but they serve as a constant reminder of the power and danger these creatures represent. While the game didn't live up to its full potential in terms of gameplay and story, it still offers moments of genuine suspense and joy for fans of both Jurassic Park and Telltale story-driven games. In the end, this game is far from perfect, but it has a special place in the hearts of those who watched or played it. It's a nostalgic dive back into the world of dinosaurs that manages to get a lot right, even if it falls short in other areas. While the game could be considered lackluster, it is also very difficult to make a story-driven interactive game in the setting of Jurassic Park. So, is Jurassic Park the game worth revisiting? In my opinion, absolutely. Especially if you're a fan of the Jurassic Park franchise and enjoy a good suspenseful story with dinosaurs. And while Telltale may not have hit a home run here, you have to admit that this shortcoming might have been a part of why their future series were so much better. The game is still an interesting experiment in what happens when you combine their trademark narrative style with the relentless, terrifying world of Jurassic Park.